Where's the harm in adultery? It's well for us to consider that. If marriage is important, then adultery is murder to the marriage. It strikes a blow to the heart of the marriage. If two people in this spot pledge themselves to each other, it's as if their yes joins together and creates a foundation for a life. That you build your life on this yes, on the other person's yes. I can trust this person to say yes to me all into the future. Adultery is the pulling away from that and the gravely endangering that foundation to the marriage. And of course, if the other person learns, if the offended person learns of the adultery, it's like a knife to the heart. It's just this sense of being utterly and totally betrayed at the most basic level of your life. The pain is incomprehensible. And so in the first place, it is this terrible blow against the one to whom one is promised. But if there are children, then it endangers their whole future. It puts their whole future in danger because it threatens the stability of the marriage, which in turn is the foundation for their own stability. And we can only deny the importance of this if we pay no attention to what we know about how important it is for children to have a stable life as they begin. It cheapens respect for marriage throughout the culture. If adultery is celebrated in a culture as it is in ours, well, why should anyone think marriage is so important? It's just a matter of words. And if it doesn't have any consequences that are painful or anything, well, why bother? What's so important about getting married? So we have this long-standing commandment. Indeed, the commandment of Moses is that we could say, it's very severe to say it, but I think it's true, adultery is deserving of death. It's deserving of death. It's that serious to the people and the culture. That isn't to say that that's the sentence we should execute, as Jesus makes very clear in the gospel today, but it's just to call to mind the severity of this sin. Now, one character is missing in this gospel account. When you think about it, one character is missing. It takes two to commit adultery. Where's the man? Where's the man? And I would suggest to you that this is perhaps the deepest truth here. And it's all said by not saying anything. It's that Jesus is left with the woman who is the one on whom all the blame descends. Notice she's surrounded by this circle of men, and they're ready to stone her. They're ready to stone her. You know what it calls to mind to me is an ancient echo of what Adam says to God in the garden. Why did you eat the apple? The woman you gave to me suggested it to me. He casts the blame on the woman. And that's a part of original sin, this distancing between man and woman that comes down to us. And it seems to me that the woman historically bears the greater burden because the man disappears. He's nowhere to be found, you know? When I have a married man come to me in confession and confess having gone to a prostitute, I usually ask, and if he's sincere in his repentance, and usually is, I say, now, whom have you offended? And right away he'll say, my wife. Who else? My children. And I say, who else? Silence. What about the woman you sinned with? Did you treat her as she should be treated? Did you treat her in any way that would enhance her dignity and her freedom? Or did you just use her? But it's always interesting that question seems never to occur to us men. But that's the missing character in this gospel, and it's a very powerful reminder to us to take our bearings in this culture that we live in today, which has been so completely disordered in the matter of sexual desire. Jesus comes to take the side of the woman, to tell her, go and sin no more. Don't give rein to your own disordered desires, but don't let a man use you again either. Be free to be yourself, and come follow me.
Cary.